Now, there are three concepts that you must understand to fully understand masculinity. Number one, men and masculinity has boundaries, and femininity is boundaryless. Number two, have you ever heard that the children reflect the parents? Well, I submit to you that the entire house reflects the man. So number two is she reflects you. And number three, you can only have freedom inside of boundaries. Freedom without boundaries is chaos. So we covered number one in part one. If you didn't see it, please go back and watch the other video. So for number two, reflecting. We all know and probably agree that the kids are a reflection of their parents or parenting. But for this statement to be true for the whole house to reflect the man, then that would have to be true that the woman starts reflecting the man before there's even kids. And I submit to you that every woman that has ever truly liked you has tried to show you that they like you in the exact same way. They start copying you. You'll notice she starts saying something you say, wanting to get into things and everything that you're in, even if it is completely outside of her. And of course, the most familiar and recognizable one, she wants to wear your clothes. So now what they don't teach us and what we don't get, because we get all of that, but this is the part that we don't know. You know why things are always so good in the beginning? Because she's reflecting you and you are doing well and you are doing good. But what we never realize is that when we mess up, she's still reflecting us. Yep, you heard me correctly. When you mess up, she is continuing to reflect you. But let me tell you why you don't recognize it and why you've never seen it that way. Do you remember concept one? We have boundaries. Masculinity has boundaries, but femininity does not. Femininity is boundaryless. In other words, what's the limit to petty? Don't worry, I'll wait. There is no limit. It's limitless or boundaryless, which is why being petty feels so unnatural to men. You only got a limit you can go by how far you can be petty before it feels completely icky. But it feels icky all the way around. So in turn, you haven't been able to recognize it because when she's reflecting you on her own limitless, boundaryless scale. Meaning she can do whatever you did to her 10 times worse, 100 times worse, 10,000 times worse, 1,000,000,000 times worse if she wants to, because it's on her limitless, boundaryless scale. But it's still a reflection of what you've done. So that's why we've all had this moment where we are going back and forth with our woman in a situation where we know we have a part to play, we know that we're wrong, but we feel like she's more wrong. Where we are just baffled because we can point out all of the stuff that she knows she's done, and she should know that she went over the line. And we cannot understand why we point out all of this stuff that she's done, and she just, no. What about you, though? Or, we not talking about me, we talking about you. And that's because, say she was 80% wrong in a situation, and you feel you were about 20% wrong. Well, because she is reflecting you, what she's trying to tell you is that her 80% came from your 20%. And what she wants you to do is take accountability for your 20% and validate her feelings about your 20%. Then she'll allow you to address her 80%. Let me explain how and why it works this way. Because masculinity is made of accountability and control over emotions. So I've drawn a little display to explain what I mean. Remember, I said masculinity has boundaries and femininity is boundaryless. And the boundaries are to keep masculinity from becoming femininity, which is an ocean or a sea around the island of masculinity. And notice the boundaries of masculinity are made up of this side, accountability, and this side, control over emotions. And these boundaries is what is keeping the sea of femininity outside. So in short, whenever you are not accountable or you lose control over your emotions, either one or both, masculinity gets overrun by femininity, and now it becomes femininity. This is why when you break either one of these sides, especially this side, your woman will get highly disrespectful, petty, she'll just shut off, or vengeful, or she will be all of them at once. But mainly disrespectful. And if you break this wall especially, she'll get so disrespectful that she'll act like she can actually take you physically. And that's because she no longer sees a man. She is looking at another woman. She'll even go as far as to call you outside of your masculinity. Itch with a B, a pussy, any non-masculine term. And have you ever thought about the fact that there's no derogatory term toward a man that does not call him something of a woman? Like, follow, subscribe for more. I'm still not close to done yet.